But, after the game, and this is an article on The Athletic from Matthew Fairburn about Diggs in the locker room. Diggs has gotten away with just kind of, the Marshawn Lynch routine of not talking to reporters. And the other receivers talked, he didn't. And you're supposed to be available after every game. You're supposed to be available during the week. And I think, there's a dance there where the media that covers a team will look the other way because they don't want to have a bigger problem with the organization by complaining about one player, and it's not going to make it better. It just makes it confrontational, and it just makes it awkward for everyone when they show up for work. But still, this routine, and we love Stefon Diggs. It's one of the favorite interviews when we're at Super Bowl week, and I don't know if he's even going to show up this year after everything that's gone on this season, but the routine of, sulking, and it doesn't work when you're not playing great. It doesn't work when, it just, that's been the one concern I've always had. And I understand he's highly competitive, but so is everybody else. Guys are highly competitive. Guys lose games. Guys still talk to reporters. And I'm just really competitive and I'm upset because I'm competitive thing, that wears thin after a while. Because again, they're all competitive. And you see him standing there meeting the media after a devastating moment. Jordan Love, after committing the mortal sin, as he called it, of throwing the ball across his body, he didn't avoid reporters. He didn't say no when reporter approaches him in the locker room and asks if he'll talk, when he has a mandatory obligation under the NFL rules to talk. So as much as we love Stefon Diggs, I feel like somebody at some point needs to tell him, man, look, you got to do what everybody else is doing. It's one thing to have a separate set of rules when you are one of the best receivers in the NFL. As you begin to fade down the stack, you're not going to get the benefit of a second set of rules anymore, Chris.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the way it is in the NFL. And, the pecking order, the hierarchy of the locker room, whatever. Yeah, you're a superstar. You can do special things that go above and beyond the coaching of the football team. You get away with more than everybody else in the football team. And, he's not that guy anymore, but he's still getting away with, I'm sure, plenty because of his value there. We know he's damn good still. He is. But, yeah, I think, the attitude, the not talking to the media, all of that, some of the things that happened over, before last year, leaving the building during OTAs or minicamp, it's fair to question all of this stuff. It certainly is. And also, yeah, there's times where you just go, I don't understand, the discontent anyways, when you still had 107 receptions this year. You were still targeted almost as much as anybody in football. And I think that's where we all look at it and kind of just go, wait, what is there to be so unhappy about or annoyed with so much of the time?
The other thing, too, you mentioned how he doesn't fit the Joe Brady offense. What did we hear earlier this week from Josh Allen, quarterback of the Bills? He wants Joe Brady to be back as the offensive coordinator.
Right.
So there's it's
a little the Jalen Hurts thing. I want to go hey, we don't need buddies being your coach here. It's saying the same thing, right? I'm not a fan of that, right? The best quarterbacks through history, whatever, their buddies weren't coaching them, right? Bill Walsh was making Joe Montana feel uncomfortable even after he won 2 Super Bowls. Tom Brady never had a day feeling good, and he was like, wait, I'm already the GOAT, and they treat me like I'm a backup here in New England. So that's the way it works in football, and that's what I'd say the same thing to Josh Allen as I would have said about the Jalen Hurts thing.
And by the way, one last thing on Diggs,
yeah.
A lot of big-name free agent receivers this year as well, complicating any effort to trade him. At some point, he's going to have to redo that contract. He's just going to have to take less money to reflect his current value in the broader receiver pecking order, and he may not like that. I mean, I don't know what the end game is here, but if he's not going to accept taking less from the Bills or somebody else,
I don't see that happening.
The Bills may just have to cut him. They may just have to cut him. They may just have to cut. I have to look at the cap consequences because it could be a bigger problem for them to cut him from a cap standpoint than to just pay him. But it's going to be one of the stories of the offseason. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.